Welcome everyone to another episode of 10K Movies. I'm Ryan and joined as always by Tom and JD. Fellas, how we doing?
Doing good. JD, how you doing?
Doing good. A little technical difficulty with the camera, but I'm doing well.
All good. We always power through here. But yeah, I know we're first time it's kind of felt like fall already. I know it's still technically summer. I think it's supposed to get back up to like 90 degrees next week, but right now it's like a cool 73 and sunny. I don't know about you guys, but starting to feel like football weather, especially since that's starting literally next week. And this weekend with college football, but
Yeah.
NFL starts next Thursday, so very exciting. Very excited to see that. A bunch of different things there. But you guys excited for any, I guess, college football this weekend, and then anything that jumps out to you with the NFL coming up?
I mean, I think the Hoosiers are poised to win the Big Ten this year. No, I'm just excited to sit on a couch and watch football all day. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'm definitely more into NFL than I am with college. My interest in college kind of ebbs and flows, but new year, I want to get more into it, especially I know us through in a dynasty league for fantasy, so it helps to do some early season scouting for next year.
Yeah.
See who's going to be entering the draft, but I'm excited to see. I don't know how much of the game I'll actually get to see, but IU Ohio State. I think the Buckeyes are on upset alert. Coming into the real big house in Bloomington. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited, but I'm really pumped for NFL in 1 week. 1 week from today, JD's birthday, kick off the first game.
Yeah. It's a whole birthday present.
I've been waiting for
It's actually perfect
timing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely
Yeah.
also excited for IU for sure. I mean, okay. I don't know if I'm excited to watch them, but I will be watching, just excited to have football on. So I'll definitely be watching them tomorrow, or was it Saturday?
Saturday.
So looking forward to that. But how about, to your point, Tom, we are in a newly dynasty football league or fantasy football league. So in the spirit of that, is there any rookies coming into this year in the NFL that you guys are most excited for?
Man, I feel like I know JD's answer.
Who do you think I'm
But, I
taking?
mean, I would assume it'd be Anthony Richardson, your quarterback.
No, I mean, I am excited for him as a Colts fan. I think it's gonna take a little while to get actual veteran stat. Well, for him to play not like a rookie is a better way to put it. But I'm excited not to have Matt Ryan or Philip Rivers or Carson Wentz. So
Yeah,
it should be little change of scenery.
Yeah. So who's your real pick then?
So outside of some of the ones getting more hype, I am excited to watch Jordan Addison. It's Jordan, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Not only
USC.
because we share the same name, but I think they could have like a T. Higgins, Jamar Chase kind of vibe to them. Just like two young guys, like just making plays left and right. So I think they could be fun to watch. But it's
That's a
also
good
the
comparison.
Vikings.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good comparison, I feel like. I mean, Jefferson's had Adam Thielen next to him, who I feel like's been pretty washed for last couple of years. But drawing a blank on their third receiver, he was been pretty good.
Osborne still?
Yeah,
KJ Osborne, yeah. But I think I'm most excited. None of the quarterbacks really. I mean, I'll be interested to see how Anthony Richardson does, since a lot of our friends are Colts fans. But I think JSN for the Seahawks is someone I'm interested to see. I mean, Ohio State just has been putting out insane wide receivers for a while, but specifically like last year with Garrett Wilson and Olave, Marvin Harrison coming out next year. So I think I'm interested to see how he plays. The Seahawks were a surprise last year. We'll see if they kind of keep it going. And then I'll throw Bijan in there too, just because he's getting so much hype.
Yeah.
Like, I personally didn't want him in fantasy. Like, nothing against him. I think
Sounds
the
like
Falcons
you're kind
are
of rooting against him, though, maybe.
not rooting against him, because I think he's going to make some like awesome plays. Like, I think I'm a huge Reds fan. I think he might be kind of like Ellie De La Cruz, where it's like not the perfect player, but he's going to make like a good amount of plays that are just like, holy shit, that's insane. Like, we haven't seen anybody, do that, or he has like a 200-yard game or something. But So I'm excited to keep eyes on him. I just think the Falcons suck, so I didn't really want him for fantasy, but
That was my thought exactly. Like, I think
Yep.
he's a special talent, but the offense
Yep.
he's in is just not going to produce. You're still in the NFL. Like, you're not going to have these huge holes and stuff that he had in college. And like,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you can't just put, like, especially as a running back, you can't just actually put the team on your back. It's not built like that anymore.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
Who you
way
got, Ryan?
different. Well, speaking of running backs, this is a very biased pick. I actually just drafted him in our fantasy league. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. It's Devon Achane.
I think so.
The Miami guy.
Dolphins guy?
Yeah, out of Texas A&M. And there's some news that Jeff Wilson was
On IR.
maybe slated to be the starter with Raheem Mostert, and I guess he's on the IR. And Raheem Mostert knows the IR very well as well. So, I
Best
mean, I'm
friends.
hoping I see a lot of my boy here. So excited to see him in action. But yeah,
Pretty
the
good
ones you
pick.
guys named were great too. I think there's a lot of like skill positions that are going to be exciting to watch coming out. So
I didn't
Let's
I didn't know Jeff Wilson got put on the IR, but I got
Yeah,
Mostert
just
in
happened.
another league,
Just today.
and I also have JT, so that might work out well.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah.
Could work. Well, that would hurt for Ryan's pick. If they get
Yeah.
JT.
Hey, honestly, I
true.
don't like.
Stash him though.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think definitely excited to see how the seasons go. I know we'll be very involved with I think we're in multiple fantasy leagues, so I'm gonna be keeping heavy close eye on those. And then yeah, college football is kind of just like a fun in the background. Especially to bet on. I think that's like maybe my favorite. So looking forward to that this weekend and then the rest of the way.
Yeah, maybe we'll give some football updates every before the movies from now on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
definitely. Cool. But yeah, what else we did this past, well, it's been a couple weeks, I think, since we last recorded, but if you have been listening with us for some time now, obviously we always review a movie, but also are listening to Billboard hits year every week, taking our favorite song from there. So our last one that we just did was 2000, the year 2000. Finally made it. It's been, I don't know. I mean, the last few weeks have been really good, but I think this was the best one by far. There's a lot of heavy hitters in this one. But Tom, since you picked the movie, if you want to go ahead and pick a favorite song from the year 2000.
Yep. And I know you said you thought you were gonna know my pick, so interested to see if you do. I don't think you will. A lot of good heavy hitters, like you said on this one. I went with "Wonderful" by Everclear.
Oh,
If you
no,
guys
what I
know
was
that
thinking,
one,
dude.
it's a phenomenal song. You got the nod. There were a lot of really good candidates, but it's a song I really enjoy, so I went with that. And I think JD, you'd be up next. If we're going in order here.
Yeah, I went with a classic mainly because it's arguably my favorite band of all time, but I went with All the Small Things by Blink.
Yeah.
Might be a popular one.
Yeah, what did you choose that too, Ryan?
No, I actually
I'm just guessing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, just one of my favorite songs. And it's like a classic bar sing along too, so
yeah. It is great for the sing along. I will say, I mean, Blink's my favorite band, but I actually don't think it's in my top 5 favorite of their songs of mine, but I still love it. I think maybe I definitely wouldn't say it's overplayed for me, but it is the one I hear the most. So
I would agree with that though.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why it's not as high for me.
It's
But
kind of like Mr. Blindside with the Killers.
Mr. Brightside, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Brightside, yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Exactly, yeah. I think, I mean, that's
apologies to
even,
Brightside.
yeah, that's even gone way past it for me. I used to love that song, but now I just like it. But never, I don't think I've actively played Mr. Brightside. Like, I just hear like the only time I hear it.
Yeah, exactly. You just wait till you're with anybody else and they'll play it.
Out in public, and then you'll hear it, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure they play that shit at church. Like, no matter where you're at, it's somewhere on.
Psalms 34:19.
She left me roses. Behind. All right.
So
Yeah, that,
yeah, I mean, all small things is probably 2 or 3 for me in this year, but going back to the well with another popular band that we've come across recently with Third Eye Blind, It's
I
Never Let
knew
You
it.
Go,
Yep.
which I think I like Semi Charm Kind of Life, or just Semi Charm Life, better than this one, but this one is right there too. So this is also on my top 100 all time. So yeah, I love this song too. So yeah, that's what I went with.
Good pick. That might be my
Yeah.
favorite Third Eye Blind song, actually. That's a really good one.
Yeah, they
Tough year
crushed
for
this
sure.
this time of, or like this era,
Mm.
these few years here. So,
Right.
but
Yeah, good run.
yeah, definitely. So I mean, I don't think that's the last time we'll hear from them, or hopefully Blink either.
Probably not.
So yeah, I guess we'll probably see another one of them pop up in these next few weeks and years that we get going here. Because I mean, well, I guess we're 23 left, which it feels like it'd be less than that, but I guess it's been 23 years since 2000, which is crazy. But
Mhm.
yeah, so next week we'll be doing 2001. So yeah, if you're listening along, feel free to listen to that as well. I think just going to get even better from here on out. So at least for a little bit, but I guess we'll see. Um, and then what else did we do? Yeah, so we watched a movie, of course, since we are a movie podcast, and that was Tom's pick,
Mhm.
The Jerk. So Tom, if you want to give a quick synopsis for those who either haven't seen it or need a refresher, and we can give out our scores.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. We got The Jerk. It was on Netflix where we watched. It's 1979. A simple-minded, sheltered country boy suddenly decides to leave his family home to experience life in the big city, where his naivety is both his best friend and his worst enemy. Yeah, so I guess I'll kick it off with the score since this was my pick. I won't dive too far into it yet because we can unpack this, but I there wasn't a lot that I liked about this movie. However, I didn't hate it either. Like the score I gave is a 57. Reason being, like I said, I didn't really like it, but I feel like when you dip into like the 30s, that's like for Ryan, that's like Porky's. When you like actively hate a movie, it starts to go in that route. I definitely didn't actively hate this movie. I think it's just the comedy is a little different than what we're used to now.
Yeah.
I think it was I shouldn't say I shouldn't say there was nothing I didn't like about it, if that's phrased right. I did like the way it kind of wrapped up, just in like it felt like it was a movie that deserved like a happy ending. So I didn't dislike it all. There just wasn't a lot that I really liked. So 57 felt appropriate. It's kind of a hard one to score when you get into movies you dislike or don't love. So yeah, that's what I got, JD. Let's see where you're at on it.
I did not think I'd be higher than you, so I will say that.
That's
But
crazy.
I gave it a flat 60, and mainly for a few reasons. Like, so I agree with you. The comedy's not really the same as what we're used to. A lot of it's like ironic humor, like where they kind of like say something and you kind of know where it's going. Well, towards the end, I could kind of guess like what the next joke would be. Just because of like how like all the pun. I don't know if pun's the right word, but either way, yeah, it's just not the same as what we're used to. But I gave it a flat 60, and it's just I don't know, I bumped it up a little bit because it is a comedy, and I did laugh at some parts. I thought they were actually pretty funny, and generally comedies just don't have that great of scores, so they just have a little place in my heart. But if this was a drama, it would have been like a 26.
Agreed with
Yeah.
that.
So
Agreed with that.
yeah, I'm definitely with you, JD. I mean, I'm I guess the highest of all of us. I'm at a 62. Um, it's like it definitely wasn't my cup of tea, but I also recognize like there are bits and pieces I like, and to your, I think both of you guys have touched on it. Just it's not the same as like comedies now and back then, and like I think maybe someone just flew over my head. Like I didn't laugh a whole bunch in this one, but it was like more like endearing maybe than it was like, you know, a knee slapper, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I still like, you know, it was cool to see like Steve Martin. I think you said it last time, Tom, like, you know, to actually watch something that he's like really known for back when he was like up and coming.
Mhm.
So that was cool, but I will say like his character annoyed the shit out of me. So that was it's tough to get through sometimes. Like he was like kind of pissed me off, but I think overall, like it was still like an entertaining watch, very quick like that. Like it flew by, so I did appreciate that. But yeah, kind of just like, you know, it was about an average movie, basically.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Like it's different. I think I'm gotta try to think of it in the context of that too. It was a different era of comedy, but um yeah, I mean some parts like the beginning I thought was really stupid. Um then he worked at the gas station. I thought that was still really stupid.
Yeah.
I think the part I liked the most was when he was working at like the carnival.
Mhm.
Um but
Cam McCarney.
became a carny, rose up the ranks fairly quickly somehow.
He did that.
Because
Um,
there's
Where
only
he
2
goes.
employees.
There's like, yeah, there were like
Yeah.
4 employees. I will say Naven's got that dog in him for sure.
He does. Yeah.
Um,
Special.
He's got a
What was it?
special
Special
purpose.
purpose. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was funny.
But the one thing I didn't understand about his character, like his character didn't seem consistent at all in terms of like how he acted. Like when he grew up like on the farm or like the more country house versus like when he was at like the carnival, he was all of a sudden like talking like super elegantly, and like it just didn't seem like a very consistent like character. Like I feel like his character wasn't like super well written out. I mean, obviously, like this movie didn't have a lot a lot to it, but that was one thing I had a gripe with was just like he like from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, like there was no like real progression of like why his behavior changed, aside from him getting like thrown in like different situations, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, no, I mean that it does. I will say I kind of liked how he was ironically like rising up the ranks and like everywhere he went, like he was failing upwards or whatever. Like I thought that was funny. But yeah, I mean the whole gas station thing with the guy trying to shoot him was like
That was
I mean
tough.
that was driving me nuts. And then of course he like turns his life around. But I didn't understand. I don't know if I missed it. Like why was that guy so upset with him to begin with?
No
So,
reason.
I
Just
think it
picked him at
was
random.
I think it was just, yeah, like I'm somebody now, like some things are gonna happen to me, and then it's like some guy just picks him at random because he's in the phone book. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true, JD. That's what it was. It was like I'm
like
somebody. I'm in the phone book, and then the guy's like picked a name out of a hat. But also, how would he pick
That's
the
right.
name out of the hat or pick the name out of the phone book and know it was him?
yeah.
That's what I
That's
don't
true
get.
too. Yeah.
He's just
Like
sitting on like a
I
grassy knoll with a sniper. It's
I
like
wouldn't think too far into this movie.
yeah, that's true.
I would
But
say
it
the
is
thing,
kind of honestly that's kind of funny that he became a PI, I guess.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it is.
In
Start
the
chasing
long
him down
run.
again.
But yeah, I mean maybe that's why. Yeah, I guess it was just true calling. The way you can just find someone just by knowing the name in the phone book. I guess like, you know, it's kind of cool. Now I think about it,
Yeah.
I kind of like that. But not that I mean his aim was worse than like a stormtrooper, which is
and
tough. So
Yeah.
yeah,
that
I
was,
did.
brutal.
Had a scope on that thing too. I don't get
Yeah.
I did like the comment where he's just like, "Man, he really hates these cans," but like
it. Yeah.
that scene went on for so long.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I know. I would have hated the scene if it was like 30 seconds to him, but it was
Yeah,
like 4 minutes of him like trying to
yeah.
shoot him from like basically point blank with a sniper and no cover.
Right.
Basically,
Yeah.
I had like 3 feelings this entire movie. All right, the one was just straight up cringy. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I hate this right now. The other one was like, what are they doing here? I don't get it. And then the third one was like, all right, that's kind of funny. Mainly more of the first two,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but there were some funnier things.
Yeah. The only thing I'd add to that is like at times thinking like this is dragging. Like
Yeah,
this
oh, yeah.
scene, not necessarily the whole
Yeah.
because like you said, Ryan, the movie, like going into it, it's an hour and 34. Obviously, you know, 5 to like 8 minutes of that are gonna be like credits. So in the back of my
Yeah.
mind, I'm like, this is gonna be super quick, but like some of the scenes just really dragged out.
Yeah.
And it was not like an easy watch, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. It like like you both said, it's quick, which I was thankful for, but it just overall, not like the plot's just weird.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like that mixed in with it being such an older movie, like those can go one of two ways. Like it's like you don't really notice it, or you do notice like how outdated it is, and that's how where I fell on this one. I think we might all be in that boat, but
Yeah.
that can, maybe not help things as well with it.
So
Mhm.
also another thing I kind of liked about this movie was it gave me like I feel like this walked so Dumb and Dumber could run. Like they
Yeah.
felt
can
eerily
see that.
similar. Like they both kind of like left their hometown. They not really know where they're going. They're kind of just like so like they both like failed upwards in like different ways. Like he came into a lot of money and stuff, but they're like somehow like killing people in Dumb and Dumber or whatever. Like the guy tried to
Yeah.
kill them and
Yeah,
stuff. Like
Tomahawks
Yeah.
or whatever.
like they're
Yeah.
just being literally moronic and somehow just making it successful. But I like Dumb and Dumber way more than this.
Yeah.
So do I, and I think, but also like if you look at it objectively or whatever, like, and I think there are some people that like actually hate that movie too, and they're like, oh, it's just so stupid. I mean, not
And
playing the title, but it's
yeah.
like it's so dumb. Like none of that would happen, and everything. But I just think they deliver it so much better, and like the jokes land like
So
way
one
more. At
thing,
least for me. I mean, it sounds like all of us maybe, but
yeah, like, and I agree with that. And I also did, I mean, it came out in, like the 90s, so I wouldn't say it's more modern, but it is like,
yeah, it feels
but
like it for sure.
one of my
Right.
least favorite thing people say about comedy is like, that's so dumb, that would never happen. And then I'll watch some like sci-fi movie, be
John
like,
Wick.
Yeah.
dude, he took off the laser cannon, and like, I'm just like, yeah, that's it. Like, dude, he teleported back in time, destroyed the laser cannon. I'm like, and you think that's possible? Like, you
Yeah.
gotta think of like in context of the movie, like,
Right. Yeah. No, I agree that I like Dumb and Dumber like 10 times more than probably like 100 times. I love Dumb and Dumber actually.
I
Like
do too.
too.
agreed the comedy's way better, but at least there's like a consistent plot. Like you can kind of follow what they're doing, where like Naven just kind of jumped around and like did random shit for like no apparent reason. Like
Yeah.
I guess at the end it was like to reunite with his family, but
Yeah.
like there wasn't a whole like he didn't really have much of like a goal. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess it was like to become somebody to like get the girl, which he did somehow. And then I guess that's like a fairly normal like arc of a story of like he reaches success, tumbles down, and then like there's some sort of resolution, but all that happened in like 8 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. And I will say, I felt like this plot, especially compared to like other comedies, like things would just happen and they would just like like at the very end, his family finds him or whatever. He's like, how'd you find me? It's like, don't know. First place we stopped. Like it was
Yeah.
pretty much how everything went for him. He's just like,
Right.
how'd you get
True.
here? He's like, walked over. Like
Right.
like at least
Right.
in like other comedies, like there's something that leads to something, and this one you just like do something. I'm just here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one bugaboo I have with this movie. I mean, one that sticks out more than others is the whole situation with what was her name? What was her name? The girl that he
wife?
ends up with. Marie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So why, and I may have missed this too, but like why did she want to leave him the first time where she wrote him the note and then it like smudges or whatever? Because
I think it was like her mom was saying that like she needed to marry like somebody with like
some
money
yeah,
or like
like money, power, and a special purpose.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. So then I guess it kind of makes sense that she goes back with him because then I guess he does get the money.
Mhm,
Yeah.
right. That part does make sense.
Okay,
like,
it does, yeah.
storyline.
I also hated that part though, because she was pretty much a gold digger. Well,
Well,
or at least
yeah,
her mom
that's-
was.
Yeah,
Right.
but then I guess she still sticks with him at the very end, even after they.
Yeah,
Gotta
that's
break up.
true.
But
Yeah.
I did like that part.
I also
Yeah.
liked like the invention. You knew that was gonna happen when he invented it at the gas station. That guy's like, "Oh, I'll send you half or whatever.
Yeah.
If this works out." Like I knew that where that was going, but it was funny how it made everyone cross-eyed like that. That made
Yeah.
me chuckle quite a bit. So I did
did
like
li-
that. So yeah, I don't know. I
I
thought
did
that was good.
kind of a dark joke, but I was like, you didn't even test it on prisoners. And I was like,
Yeah,
Jesus.
that was
Yeah,
hilarious.
true, yeah, that was
Uh,
pretty funny.
yeah.
That was
And then like
super subtle, but yeah, it's
he's
funny
like
as hell.
we'll get a fair and impartial like judge and jury. The judge and the jury's
Yeah,
cross-eyed.
yeah.
It's like, this is America. We'll get a fair and impartial
Yeah,
jury,
he's like,
which
I
I
believe in
thought
the
was
legal system.
I thought was a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
a
I did
little-
think there was some good jokes in there, but
Mhm.
I think the
Yeah.
cringiness outweighed that.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I know we talked about it, or like Ryan, you mentioned like with Steve Martin. Like I feel like this is one of his most like notable movies.
I would say the most, like, if you say what made him famous or whatever, like,
Yeah.
this would be it.
I would
Yeah,
think
sure.
so. I mean, and I'm looking like I mean, again, we didn't even talk about it. This is a 7.1 on IMDb. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
But so I kind of put that in the range of the people that have seen it are usually like came out when they were like
Yeah.
younger. I don't,
Mhm.
don't want to call
Like
them
Porky's, we
But I was
talked
gonna
about
say
that.
Porky's is
Yeah.
like in the same boat. It's like people,
Yeah.
it's like a bunch of people that were like 15 to 30 now. They'd be like, this movie sucks. But
Right.
they probably most people like that don't watch movies before like 1995.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely when it comes out, like when people see it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I know like there's movies that like my dad likes that I watch. And I'm like, yeah, I don't see it. Or like maybe it's okay, but like have you guys ever seen like Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
I actually
That was supposed
haven't.
to
I've
be
been
like-
trying to get my hands on that, but it's never on any streaming.
Yeah, I saw it like randomly in like college or something because it's just like cult classic that like people like our parents' age are like obsessed with. Like it's kind of like they're super
They're-
bad. I feel like.
Yeah. Like
And I
American
watched it. And
Pie
I was,
and all that.
yeah, or like American Pie. I'm like, I watched it. And I'm like, I don't get the hype. Like, I think
Yeah.
it was like fine, but it was, it feels old for sure.
Yeah. And I think there's like a lot of movies that we would call like comedy classics or just classics in
Right.
general. For the next generation, like, yeah, this movie seems stupid.
Right. I mean, just like you
Um,
see like humor changes and like,
Yeah.
it's
But they're definitely gonna like Fast and Furious for the end of time, probably.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, people probably will still like it, like kids and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
That's not
there's
really
a
watch
huge
it.
fan base for it because they've made 27 of them, but
yeah. No,
Yeah.
there is definitely a fan base. Like even the people that are like, oh yeah, I watched it like ironically, like they still
yeah, like me.
still watched it.
Still gave them my money. Well,
right.
streamed it, but
Yeah. Give 'em your valuable time.
yeah, gave 'em my views.
Yep. Yep. So
But yeah,
we missing anything on the jury? Oh, go ahead, JD.
I was just say, I mean, like going along with there's like I will say I didn't have a lot to talk about this movie because I thought we'd kind of be in the same agreement with it.
Right.
I will say just there was another scene that I wish would have been shorter, and it was the very beginning when he's trying to hitchhike, because that was like,
Oh.
another, like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then he gets in the truck for literally 20 seconds,
Yeah.
and gets out, and then he's like out there again for like another 2 minutes, and I'm just like, all right,
Right.
Yeah.
And they
get it.
drop him right at a gas station. He gets a job there. Like
yeah, like, I mean, I get it, it's a comedy and they like there's some elements in there, but it was just like so slow at parts, and like they would
Mhm.
like just hang on to a joke way too long.
Oh yeah. Like that's a great example of when they're like, I hope Naven's, doing all right. They're like, hey, why don't you just like call out and ask him or something like that? was-
Yeah, I like that. That was-
They're
I
like,
think
take away his placemat. We feel too sad, and someone just walks up.
Right.
Naven, how's it going? He's like,
Yeah,
"We're making it."
Right. I thought the concept was kind of funny, but like you said, JD, I just felt like they they hung around on that for a while because yeah, like a truck would drive him like 100 feet, like let him out. Like,
I think if
Yeah.
they would have just did the dinner scene and then he showed him out there, I think that would have been pretty funny.
and then yeah, cut to something completely different. But like, yeah, they showed basically him like get to the end of the driveway one day and then like
yeah.
get like 2 miles the next. And
The only other
Yeah.
thing I was gonna say about this is it really reminded me, I wonder if when they wrote Elf, they like thought about this movie, because it kind of reminded me of like Buddy obviously like
Yeah.
isn't an
Yeah.
elf, but he like always thought he was. He didn't look like him, and then obviously he thinks he's like part of that family biologically in this one. And then like they have that kind of similar journey from like the North Pole for Buddy to New York City, and then here from, I forget where they started, but then
Mississippi
obviously
to
St.
LA.
Louis, I think. or
yeah, it's St.
something.
Louis. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it
We
kind
eventually
of
went
reminded
to
And
me.
then
LA, didn't
eventually LA. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So and like Buddy's like kind of an idiot, but lovable idiot. Which
Yeah.
I think they're making Naven out there. I mean, I didn't really love him that much, so
No.
but I could see the correlation there.
Yeah, I could see that.
I actually think that's a really good comparison
Yeah.
for
Yeah, I
those
wonder
two.
if they pulled anything from that because I think John Favreau wrote Elf, but
Yeah, he did.
You might have, yeah.
Yeah.
I was-
he obviously
see
didn't
that.
write this though. But
Right.
yeah, I just thought when I was watching, I was like, oh man, this kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that comparison for sure.
Yeah, same. Yeah, definitely could. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else? Anything we're missing from the jerk or?
Not really. I will
Not
say one
really,
thing
yeah.
I did laugh at was when they're in the nice restaurant at the end. And well, as soon as they got the escargot, I was like, I know they're gonna hate
Yeah.
that. And he's like, take these snails back.
Yeah,
And then he also goes, also get us a fresher bottle of wine. None of this old
Yeah.
stuff.
you're right.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, like, even though I think we were lower on this, because I looked and I actually rated this the same as Neighbors that we kind of recently did.
Oh, interesting.
And I will say, and I wasn't even like trying to do that. Like, I would still rather have a comedy like this, whether it be old or not, but just like more on the subtle side of like comedy, I guess you can say, and like endearing versus like all in your face and like they're just trying to like get you with like gotcha humor.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's like an actual
Yeah.
term, but you know what I mean? Like I would still rather that because like that's what it feels like a lot of the more recent comedies are. I mean, I know there's kind of been a lull in comedies in general, especially, making it to the actual theaters and everything. So I still would rather have something like this than because there's been a lot of misses with like
I agree.
comedies or like basically any Netflix original comedy movie that comes out is like, I mean, I'd rather watch this 10 times out of 10 over
Don't talk about my boy Kevin Hart like that.
that. Yeah, well, yeah, not to throw him under the bus.
Or my
but,
boy Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, Adam Sandler's a little different just because I'm a huge fan of him, but still, yeah, I mean, like
Dude.
versus the wrong Missy or something on Netflix,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is still light years ahead of like that. So
You know who has to have a weird Netflix tool is Adam Devine, whatever his
Oh,
name is,
yeah,
the
yeah,
workaholic
yep.
guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because I just saw there was one like The Outlaws or something. I don't know when it came out. but
yeah,
I'm like,
it
dude,
came
this guy
out
has
a few months ago, I think.
I was like, this guy has an odd amount of Netflix movies and none of them
True.
are good.
Yeah,
No.
I'm a fan of him, but yeah, he's had some rough, like a rough
Yeah.
catalog for sure.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah, I remember he was like actually starring in like a Netflix movie a couple years ago that was like getting kind of a lot of hype, I think, because Netflix was pushing it.
Yeah.
And what I heard, it was like terrible. It was something about, like him dating a girl or like going back in time or something. Like,
Yeah, I watched it.
I
It
can't
was
remember,
all
but I-
right. It wasn't that bad, but
I
mean,
actually
he's
had high
some-
expectations, and people were like, no, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It
Well,
looked
that's
decent.
Netflix for you. I mean, I
For
think
sure.
JD's harped on this for sure, but like just the way they market and everything, you'd think they are just like putting out Oscars and like
Yeah. And I'm
all this kind
like,
of stuff.
I've said this before too. They want everything so where it could be like some meme or clip on Twitter or something. Like just one scene has to be good, but they don't care what the plot's like at all.
Bird Box.
Yeah,
Yeah, they'd rather just
I know we
pump
talked
out-
about it with Bird Box. Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely quantity over quality. Like, and I
Oh,
hate
yeah.
that. I honestly, I don't ever look at the Netflix specials. I just assume it's garbage.
Actually, an interesting strategy of marketing, of just like meme marketing. Like
Yeah.
that Bird Box meme was
Dude.
everywhere. So like everybody felt like they were compelled to watch it. Like, oh, this must be some
Yeah.
amazing movie. And then you watch it and it's like, no.
And I don't know if it ever came out or if like they did, but I'm convinced they just paid a bunch of accounts with like a lot of followers to just post the memes or something because like you said, everyone's like, oh dude, I feel like I have to see that. And then I watched it, I was like, this movie is garbage. And like,
Yeah.
or I would like talk to people and they'd be like, nah, I've never seen it, but it's like on my list. And I'm like, so who's
Right.
watching this? Like,
Right.
just talk to like 10 of the biggest movies watchers I talked to, and none of them have seen it.
I feel like there's a good amount of people that watch a lot of movies, but like they don't really think of them like the same way that we do. Like they don't like think about like rating them or like the quality of it or whatever. They just like literally turn on their TV and like the first thing that pops up, they watch the trailer and they're like, yeah, sure, click.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people like more than you would think, like because it's not really us. Like we kind of are more intentional about like what we want to watch. But I think a lot of people do that. They just like turn on Netflix and like, yep, first one up. That looks good.
Yeah, and it's like for them, it's more of the act of watching a movie than
Yeah.
like you said, like we just more like I don't know, analytical is the right word, but like
Yeah.
like looking at different stuff maybe, or like actually thinking
Right.
about like how good of a movie it is.
Right. Like they might put it on as like background noise, like play on their phone a little bit or like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Netflix
But
and chill.
yeah, sure. Uh,
So yeah, I mean, I think that kind of wraps up the jerk. I mean, not a whole lot about it, but again, it's a super short movie, and I don't think it's trying to say a lot either. So,
no, it's
um,
not.
where
seem
does
to be.
that put it on the shared list, Tom?
Yep, that's got it at 408. It's right behind Beautiful Boy and right above Funny People. So interesting.
Looks like I'm the
Interesting.
only one that has
Rated either of
both of
those.
those. So I
Yeah.
mean, take that with a grain of salt. But
It's actually easier to count how many it's ahead of than
right,
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
it's near the bottom
yeah.
of the list, which is
Yeah,
tough. But
we've got 437 total ranked, and it's at
So-
408. So yeah,
I get 29 in front.
it's down there. It's down there a ways.
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, so that does it for the jerk. I think JD, you're up for next week's pick.
I am, and I don't know if I call this movie a classic, but I've never seen it. And with football around the corner, I'm choosing Invincible, which I believe is on Disney Plus.
Yep.
But Mark Wahlberg, story of the guy for the Eagles. Let me see if I can find out the synopsis here. Based on the story of Vince Papale. I don't know.
Papali, I think it's pronounced. Yeah.
Yeah. A 30-year-old bartender from South Philly who overcame long odds to play for the NFL's Philadelphia Eagles in 1976. But yeah, it's a movie I've like always seen, always like wanted to get around watching, but football coming up, I feel like it's a perfect time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll get
that'll
hype for the season.
Yeah, that'll be a good one for sure. Yeah, I think I don't know about classic, like you said, JD, fair to say, but in terms of football movies, I think it's one that is like
Yeah, like
universally watched by everyone.
yeah,
that enjoys those.
that's more of what I meant. Like I wouldn't necessarily call it a classic, but I feel like everyone has seen it.
Yeah.
No one would. I don't like. I mean, people like and stuff, but no one's like, dude, why haven't you seen it yet? They're like, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it on DVD as a kid.
I think it did very well when it came out. Like,
yeah, I think Mark Wahlberg is like the perfectly cast. Honestly, I kind of like Mark Wahlberg a lot. So I'm excited to see this. Like, just some of the movies we've watched with him in, like even what's the one we watched like last year? Where he's like Dirk Diggler.
Yeah.
Oh, Boogie Nights.
Yeah,
Boogie Nights. Yeah, I actually really liked. I really liked that movie.
Yeah,
and
he was good in that.
Yep.
That movie was wild.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm excited. I am excited to watch this because I haven't seen it in like a really long time. Probably since I was a kid. So it's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so we'll watch that next week. So yeah, feel free to follow along. Like JD said, it's on Disney Plus, so definitely be watching that. What else are you guys watching? I'm not watching a whole lot. Basically just I have been watching Hard Knocks, which I don't know if you guys watch that, but I like Hard Knocks. I know it has gone downhill, not all the way hill, but it hasn't been as good as it was when it first started. But it always gets me hyped for the season and everything. So I've been watching that, and that's about it as far as new shows or anything.
I figured you've been watching that because you've already drafted 2 Jets. So.
Yeah. Very biased when it comes to that. But yeah, it's been good. I mean, I hate Aaron Rodgers, but it's like kind of cool to see a different side of him now. He's not on the Packers. I still hate his ass, but cool to see. But also watching Ahsoka, which is a new Star Wars show, which I mean, I'm gonna like anything Star Wars. Right now it's kind of a slower start. There's some cool stuff in it, but I guess we'll see how it pans out. I'll tell you what, there's one thing I think I'm done watching though, and I think that's trailers or previews, unless I'm in the movies. But I've noticed because I watched the trailer for that, for example, and luckily everything that was in that trailer happened the first couple episodes, so the rest of it's not going to be spoiled. So I like that. but there's been a couple good trailers that just came out where I'd started watching it and then like see the response is like pretty positive. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop watching, check if it's gonna be like if it's like got good hype on it, and then just watch it like to not spoil anything. So I think I'm gonna try that out to see. But
That's how I've kind
I'm
of
on
been
board with
doing
that.
it. Yeah, I just feel like trailers have gotten too like they show way too much
give
of
it
the
way too
movie
much.
now,
Yeah.
which they always kind of did, but I feel like it's gotten worse. And you know what it reminds me of? It's like when the ESPN tickers used to be like kind of mysterious, but like you kind of could figure out, but then it just went to like upset last night in giant in like New York, and
Yeah.
it used to be like thriller in New York, and now it's like
Right.
upset
Right.
in New York, and you're like,
Yeah, it's
okay,
like
so
Eagles rout Giants. It's like, oh,
yeah, you're like,
Don't
dude,
have
leave
to
some
watch this
mystery.
now.
glad I didn't
Like,
hold my breath on that one.
yeah, you're like, dude, I don't have to watch the segment now. They lost.
Right.
Like,
That's a really good comparison, and I honestly agree with you guys on trailers. Like in the theater, they're just still like they always get you so excited. But yeah, if you
Yes.
see them on like Twitter or something, I try to
Right.
kind of
And that's
avoid
what
them
I'm
too.
yeah. That's where I like see most of like anything. So it's
Yeah, yeah,
I like the like
yeah.
teaser trailers that are like 40 seconds and stuff
Yeah.
because you don't see
that's
much, but
good.
you can get like a vibe for the movie. But the trailers that are like 3 minutes long, you
Right.
like
Yeah.
pretty much just summarize the whole movie for me.
Right.
Right.
I'd rather just not see, especially if it's something like I don't know a whole lot about.
Yeah, like if I'm on the
Then
fence of seeing the movie in the first place and then I watch the trailer and I feel like I know it, I'm like, I might see it
yeah,
with
I'm
extra
I'm
frames.
less likely to see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, just say you guys want to see Gran Turismo. It's fine.
Did you end up seeing it? I think you
Not
said you
yet.
were going to.
Not yet. I might go to a movie tomorrow, either that or is it Blue Beetle?
Oh
Blue
yeah,
Beetle,
you're gonna see
yeah.
that. I've heard that's like
Uh,
all right actually.
the trailer looked decent. I don't know. I kind of want to see Barbie, but my fiance is working and she wants to see it as well. So I'm not gonna do that. Or I might just not see a movie tomorrow. We'll see. But I feel like with AMC stubs, I gotta
Yeah, I
watch
gotta.
something
You gotta use
soon.
the benefits,
But
yeah.
yeah, and Friday's a good day for it because there's no football. Like once
Yeah.
football starts, my life becomes busier.
Yeah.
Just say you don't want to
Sitting
go
on
to
the
the movie
couch.
by yourself. That's fine.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
now that I think about it, that's probably. I mean, I think now that it's been out for like 2 months, it's probably not super packed, but I could be wrong because I feel like it's still probably doing numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
But yeah, I don't know. I think probably see one of those two. If I do, I'll let you guys know. But I haven't been watching a whole lot either. I've been watching Winning Time every Sunday night. I try to catch it on Sunday nights because there's usually not much going on, and I think it's been pretty good, honestly. Like it's still got me pretty excited to watch it every week. So that's really all I've been watching new. JD, I forget, did you say you've been watching anything?
No, not yet. So I keep meaning to start Winning Time. I
Me too,
actually,
yeah.
so I started Silicon Valley. I've never seen it.
Ooh.
I just saw like a TikTok clip. I'm like, all right, this show's like kind of funny from the one scene, and like it is. I'm like in the 4th season already, which I'm not proud of. It started like last week, but but overall, I mean, like it's funny. It's kind of getting old because it's like just a normal like sitcom where they kind of run into just like a problem like every other episode, and it's like an annoying. Honestly, the problems they run into are kind of annoying to me. But I'm kind of into it. I think there's only 6 seasons, so I'm probably gonna see it through and then start Winning Time and maybe The Bear.
Oh, I think that's
Definitely
actually the
recommend
next.
Those,
I think that's the next show we're watching too.
yeah, those are the top 2 on my list.
Mhm.
We'll catch up with Winning Time and then also see The Bear just because I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, I recommend that for sure. But yeah, I'm also gonna try to get back on Winning Time. I heard pretty good things. So
Yeah, I recommend it. It's been really good, honestly.
Yeah.
Even if you don't consider it good, it's like entertainment,
oh yeah.
Yeah,
drama to it and stuff.
I can
That's
see
fine.
that. I mean, if it's anything like season 1, that's like because even some of the episodes that I didn't think that were that great in season 1, there's still like a little drama, a little entertainment.
Yeah. I think plus like when you watch a show weekly, like it just feels better because like or it seems better because like you can't watch another one even if you wanted to. So
I
you're like,
agree. I think we talked about this at
shit,
some
there's
point.
only like 19 minutes left. Like damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially with like Game of Thrones and shows I really look for. Well, I guess House of the Dragon now, but it's like the anticipation builds. Every other show you can just like binge the whole season in one day if you want.
Right. So you don't really care like when the episode ends because
Yeah.
watch. But I think that helps shows, honestly.
I think so too.
It makes me enjoy them a lot more.
HBO is about the only one that even does that anymore.
I think so.
I don't know about Hulu because I don't watch Hulu as much.
I think
Yeah,
Hulu would be if like because Hulu I think has like that partnership with like FX.
Yeah, like I don't know if
Yeah.
they even make.
That's the
Yeah.
only thing I could see. I think they have shows like they might come on FX like Sunday nights. They'll go to Hulu like an hour after or whatever.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But obviously Netflix would never do that. because,
Wait,
like, they're-
actually, speaking of HBO, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they might do some like test marketing and like
Saw
put
that.
like news bars when you're watching a movie or TV show.
Yeah, I hate that.
like,
I don't
they
know
just-
if you can like opt out and like pay more for it, like because it seems like it's
Because
basically
like-
an ad, but it's just news. So like it's not an ad. I don't know,
yeah, like I don't want
but I
that at all.
guarantee like CNN. I think it was CNN that it's like it would show CNN feeds or
Yeah.
not feeds, but like you said, the banner or whatever. So I don't know if like CNN's trying to pay them like to do it. Which I don't
Yeah,
know.
wonder-
That's wild.
Yeah,
Wild move for both parties, I think.
I hate that. Like if I'm watching a movie and it just pops up at the bottom like Biden's new press conference, I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, like if I cared about that, I'd be watching it. Like,
Right.
Right.
Dang, I actually hadn't heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
though.
I just saw that yesterday or today.
I
It's
saw
like
it
when you
yesterday
were
on
reporting on it.
Twitter, and I hate it. I hate everything about it.
So it's like the bottom line on like watching a game. They'll have the other scores and stuff. It'd be like news.
That's how I pictured it.
Yeah, that's how I picture it too.
Okay.
I saw, yeah, it's basically just like a little banner at the bottom, and I'm just like, that's so dumb.
Mhm.
Yeah. It sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's interesting.
So-
People like that, like even from like the political standpoint. Like
Yeah.
people,
Yeah. Even anything. I just don't want anything there. It's like,
Yeah.
Right.
if I'm
No,
watching
I
a
agree.
what are we
movie-
doing? Like, that's the benefit of streaming. So you don't have to deal with commercials
Right.
or like any of that shit.
Even if it was like movie news or something, like I'm streaming something, I'd rather just only see this one movie on the screen.
Yeah.
right. Kind of takes away from like the people that made it to work. Like,
That too. Yeah.
They're trying to
Yeah.
capture like every frame and like tell this story, and you're just gonna like jeopardize part of that by
Run some garbage at the bottom.
shit out there. Yeah.
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 So I might just illegally download movies again like I did the day, but we'll see
Good
how it
old
goes.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to deal with that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder if popcorn time's still up.
Might be.
Might be out there. That does remind me. Speaking of shit, you have to purchase. I got to look into getting NFL Sunday ticket here before the price goes up.
Yeah. I got mine secured.
So do you have to get YouTube TV with it too?
No, you don't have to. You just have to like sign into YouTube and then you get it there. Or I mean, it's actually cheaper if you get the YouTube TV bundle. However, you have to pay, the YouTube monthly subscription, TV
Yeah.
monthly subscription. So
Right.
I mean, it depends, and I don't need that. So it's like, well, I'll just pay more for like the
Yeah.
flat rate.
That's what I'm seeing now. Yeah. About to get on that.
I've been thinking about moving to YouTube TV, so this might.
If
be
you're going to-
needed.
Yeah, it might. Honestly, like if I didn't already have a different way to watch like just regular cable, so to speak,
Mhm.
I would. I mean, it's really good. I mean, I've used it before. I think I did like a trial on it. It was pretty good. I mean, it's a delay, which every streaming is now, anyways.
yeah.
So it's like that's the only like it's got all the channels I would watch anyway, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
honestly, sports is about the only thing I live watch anymore. Like I don't,
Right.
I rarely sit down and watch TV that isn't sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you can even DVR on there too. So even if you do watch a like network show, you can still tape it or whatever. You don't have to watch it live. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
Right.
sense.
swear I'm not employed by YouTube TV, but
Yeah.
it's
I've heard good things
good
too.
deal.
I've only heard,
Mhm.
yeah, I've only heard good things about it, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that does it for this week's show. So watch Invincible with us. We'll be doing that next time we record, talking about that, and then also 2001 Billboard hits. And yeah, I think that does it. So listen and watch along, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right.
See you
Catch
guys.
you guys next week.